out of hood, but this shit too long. They wanna go, but they label long. Bitch, I'm a stuck, I'm a young fade long. I just might put you in my new song. Fucking on a bitch like.
This has been a long time coming, even since like Tarantino. That was the first beat I did with Diesel. So basically, like with the intro, I kind of want to get that same kind of feel of it on a solo tip, which is a new song with Diesel Mac, Smiley Face. And with me, when I was writing it, basically where my head was, I was just like, this beat is so hard. First of all, he sampled fucking Tory Moore. I've always wanted to do a Tory Moore sample. And like when
side note real quick, Chaz Bundy is a fucking genius.
Chaz Bundy is a genius, yo. Like I think when I went out to DC for that short stint and I discovered Tory Moore, like I think that just really just upped my music tape, because like at the end of the day, it just worked. I was just like so excited to do it, but I just didn't know how to approach it, because like how the hook sounded, I thought that was the verse, and I'm like, why is the verse so short but the hook is so long? And that's why the hook starts off, we'll write a hook, but this shit too long. They want to go, but they label long. And I just kind of built off that whole like idea, and it was just like so jokingly angry with like Diesel throughout the whole thing. Just like, why would you do this? And which is funny because like at the end of this,
I was like, oh, was that a diss track or some shit?
Yeah, like even
it was a diss.
Even Ty said that, like we're essentially like. Yeah, are you dissing the producer? Yeah, are you dissing the producer?
This was my man's.
But like midway writing it, I realized, oh, it's the other way around. But I couldn't just like stop with the joke and realize in the middle of a song, oh, I'm wrong. You know, keep on with the bad shit. Yeah, for the process of writing a song, I kind of wanted to go through the process of like trying to make sure that like I can make it still fun, but at the end of the day, I can still make it like cool to like make it with a song that sounds just like happy and bouncy and shit like that. Even to the point where in the middle, like at the end of the song, I was talking about like grandmother hated my cussing, now I get paid for my cussing. I just pray that she still love me. I ain't been around in a minute. I'm living out of my Duffy, spaced out like David Duchovny. I can still write some like easy things to like write about that, but like if I can make it realistic, then yeah, I can make it realistic. So that's what I did. I still gave it some realism to it. So like it's actually one of my favorite, if not my favorite song from BNS, just because it doesn't sound like something that would come from me and Diesel together. With like Project Pat, that kind of started the idea of BNS being as though it's lightning striking twice. Because like with Tarantino, I didn't find a song that kind of like took me into that like braggadocious, single feeling like song, like a song that really put me in that sense, whereas though like I can put a song out, I can do this, it can sound like some shit on the radio, but it's still some shit that I would do. And like I think I kind of took advantage of that because of the simple fact that like, quite frankly, I can really just like make the song that I've always wanted. It's just a matter of like execution, and I executed. So basically how the song came about is that like one, the sample is Cortex, and a little scorefswayze history. The first song that I sampled was Cortex. It was Sweet October, and
I had that sample too.
Yeah, once I
got that sample,
like once you bite that Cortex like neck of like samples, you can't
fuck it up.
You can't fuck it up. You can't stop. So
and that's what I learned about this one, because when I first heard it, that main section, that's just the intro of the song.
That's just the intro of the song. Like the song didn't even really start.
I never made it past like the hook of the main song, but just because I found them two real easy.
Right. Like it came from something French, so like basically where I was trying to go with it, like I was doing a French what's it called? Reference track towards the song. And with the reference track, I was kind of just like French gibberish, and I just picked up on like a Project Pat flow with it. So I was like, hey, I could just rap the song like Project Pat, but in French. And that's why the hook is just like that, like with the Project Pat, like last draws out for the last syllable, like je ne fais pas ça, comment je ressemble à mon passant. Like it just came out that way, and I was just kind of just put actual French words to it. Like I had French in high school for like 3 years. So like it's kind of hard for me not to use some French within my life eventually. And with the video, basically came from.
Where were y'all at when y'all shot that video?
We were in DC, which is very specific for that video, because it was set in France. Like the guy who designed DC, LaFlante, he designed DC just like he designed Paris. That's why it's shaped in a circle, and that's why I chose to shoot it in DC. Because I mean, I'm not going to spend bands on going to Paris to shoot a video, but I can get the. I mean, I would, but if it's in your budget, then it's not in your budget. So I felt more comfortable, like pretty much just like doing it in a place that's designed just like Paris, which is DC. And the reason why the video is in black and white and the intro within Project Pat is the movie La Haine, which is the hate in French. It's a movie that I watched in high school, and it's just I rewatched it before this album came out, and it's essentially Do the Right Thing in French. You got a guy, yeah, that's literally what it is. I can send you the link.
It's not the Spike Lee joint. It's just
it's literally
Pierre edition.
Yeah, it's Pierre Garçon and
Escargot.
Yeah, it's Escargot Do the Right Thing. That's all it really is. But like, I watched it again and realized how similar it was. Told the same stories that like pretty much Black America was facing, but in France, like we all facing police brutality throughout the whole movie. There was protesting. The whole movie there was protesting, and like their whole part about the movie was just like everything was messed up because they were protesting, but not necessarily focusing on why they were protesting, and basically bringing that power within the song and within the video, and essentially like even within the video and the what was it? The museum parts where it was walking through like the black parts of the museum and stuff, and just showing like George Washington Carver and different paintings from like different black artists, just still having that realism and that relevancy towards it. It's just kind of bridging the gap between like Black French and American like Black and just Black experience in general.
A mix of cultures.
Yeah.
In the Black community.
So as flossy and as glossy as it was somewhat of a righteous kind of thing for me to do.
A lot of problems, and it be rare that I share them. It's either no resolution, or simply nobody caring.
Essentially, Shelf is more of like a B-side for an EP. Like my whole purpose for writing it was just somewhat to tell the story between the entire EP, whereas though like throughout this whole thing it's like big nigga season, like not necessarily fat, but just like living large and just like large in charge and shit like that. But like this kind of brings a sense of realism towards it, whereas though it's not always like glitz and glam, it's not always Project Pat, it's not always a new song with Eva Mack. Sometimes I kind of hate where the fuck these things are going in life, you know what I mean? So basically, like I kind of wanted to like get that same aspect through this song, and like I didn't really like focus on like the sample or anything like that, like I used to do with like other songs and stuff. But at the same time, if I can still like get the narrative out for like what I want for this vision for this EP, this song was very necessary. That's why it's so short. That's why it's so in place, and it's just like it is what it is. Even the tape down is very necessary because like it shows that like even if you want to do all that like getting sad stuff, you're still gonna party at the end of it. That's why like right after this song, it was just straight. Yeah, we about to get this money. All this money always matters. And this pretty much just sets the picture for the entire like EP.
It was one of them joints like, score like this beat. So I was like, okay, all right. I mean, I don't doubt nobody's talent,
Taste.
no taste or skill, nothing like that. So I'm just like, all right, I'll give it to him. See how it goes. I like the outcome of it.
Yeah.
Definitely B-side in my opinion also.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about it. I like it.
Pretty boy Blanca, pull up in the truck like a Tonka. Undefeated Larry Sonka. I painted things like she from Tonka.
So for this actually wasn't supposed to be the single. The single was supposed to be the song between me and FINAGOBABY, Best in the World. Yeah, it's just that you like, yo, I sent it to you like, yo, we gotta make sure this is like
He sent me the rough draft. It was M. Bison versus Rules.
Yeah, that was the first title for it.
The original.
Yeah.
So I said, yo, finish this.
Yeah.
I hit him up that same day, like, yo, finish.
That was the version that Kayla didn't write to yet. Like, it was just the first verse, this. And, like, I think the best part about the song is that, like, it's one of those songs that you catch, like, studio-itis to, or demo-itis, where you just listen to the rough draft over and over and over and over again.
And that's what I did the entire time.
And it's just, like, you just fell in love with it. And, like, honestly, the final version is so much better than the studio version. I was in love with the studio version. It's just that, like, me personally, like, I would rather, like, have the complete, finished, polished version of it just for the people. Because I used to do that shit where it's like, well, if it's not ready, it's not ready. I just throw it. But, like, no, I actually took my time with this. Like, this song is actually 2 years old.
The beat is from literally 2018.
Yeah, and I wrote it, like, in 2018. Like, it's one of those old-ass songs where I just kind of just, like, did my own thing to it and just, like, made it my own. And it worked out in my favor. The idea at first was in Bison versus Rose, whereas though, like, I wanted me and Kayla to have this one song where we just, like, do our own thing to it. We just trade bars and show how we pretty much just run shit. But, like, at the end of the day, like, it's still, like, a single, so I'd much rather have it to a point where, like, I can, like, do some straight up single shit to it. And that's what I did. I just kind of made it a single. I threw a hook on there. I just spiced it up. She did her own thing. She did her own hook. I just made sure it was so plausible for, like, the human consumption. So, like, we made it work. Everybody loves it, and it really just worked out in my favor. Even in video, like, even the video for it, like, worked out in my favor. Like, granted, my first idea was to have it more so in a video game sense, but I felt as though, like, to tie it in with the whole TV aspect, I'd much rather do, like, a TV show. And
Nigga, like, I mean, I seen the video numerous times.
yeah.
I was there.
Yeah.
I was behind the scenes and shit.
But yeah,
you want to
like,
make it seem like this, like, black, not necessarily a sitcom, but this black entertainment type of thing.
Yeah, that's all it really was. It's just like a black version of Lifestyles of Rich and Famous.
All that other shit you niggas talk about. Hey, I'm the only one you niggas need to blog about. Hey, chasing better habits.
Like mad, like early, but I just didn't know what to write to it. But I wrote something like late. So for real, like as soon as I heard the sample, I knew like immediately it had to be me and a strong writer. And I know no other strong writers but FINAGOBABY. Because I still wanted that effect of, like, you know what I'm saying, Styles and Jadakiss. Because honestly, in a sense, we are Styles and Jadakiss. Like, all we really do is just, like, trade bars on songs and shit. And just, like, really just make sure whatever we do, we can body each other. Basically, the way I wanted the song to go, in terms of, like, concept, basically, I just wanted, like, a rendition of, like, the lessons that I learned throughout making this. Pretty much a precursor to what was it called? A precursor to Man Plants God Last, whereas though the beginning is just, like, straight up lessons. But at the end of the day, I can still, like, do something with the art and just make a lesson out of it, instead of just saying, well, guys, this is who I used to be, so I guess you're just gonna have to accept this old music. No, actually tell a story with the old music and bring new music with. We kind of switched styles in the song, but not even intentionally, because, like, I wrote this way before he even, like, wanted to write on this. So basically, like, I would usually do a verse like this, but, like, I just didn't have that flow. But ironically enough, he kind of brought that out, and, like, it just still worked. So it worked out in its own way anyway. Oh, right in the chest. Bah, 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 bah. But yeah, like, it all still worked out in the end. Even with the end song, where as though, like, well, the end of the song, where I would just basically, like, cut the song off in the middle, just to, like, still give that type of, like, idea where, like, even though all these songs are bumping, all these songs are just, like, you know what I mean, just having fun, it all can cut off in a moment's notice. Right. And it goes right into the, like, the spiel of, like, me being the best in the world. Just me being back into that bag where I'm just ultra competitive, not giving a fuck about anybody else. Out for me and just making sure, like, I eat before everybody else eats. Just bringing it back into that lesson where, though, like, it's me time. And it ties into, like, the intro for Man Plants God Last, because that's the most wonderful intro in the world. Where I just bring back that attitude of like, this is what the fuck I do. I'm the GOAT. I do what I do.
The braggadocious.
The braggadocious shit. Just making sure like I can do all this, like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I do what I can do on these songs. You know, I can rap, I can do this, do that, and the third. But at the end of the day, I run this shit.
Like, I'm the top dog of this shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's just me staking the flag.
Like, you motherfuckers are peons.
And that's why it leads into Man Plans God Last, where all this braggadocious shit really happens, but at the end of the day, some shit can fuck you up, and like, you find it very hard to bounce back from it. So it pretty much builds that high ladder just for the setup for me to just crash on down.
Well, this shit really still fucking started.
And that's being us.
Yada yada yada, yeah. Every time you drop, it's like a